What's going on? Welcome back to the Lollygagging podcast. This is episode number 3, and we're gonna have a good time. Today we are recording this live on Twitch with the people inside the chat. We're gonna kind of communicate and have a good time, have some conversation. Like I always do, we're gonna leave in all of the mishaps so we can just kind of have a real time together. It's gonna be great, and other than that, I've got some good questions. I got some good feedback on the Instagram and Facebook polls. So we're going to talk about a few of those questions that we got. And just kind of to continue to dive into somehow gamer things, because I would like to answer that today as well. I will have to think of a question because I forgot to look one up before this. So hooray for me. But other than that, let's jump right into today's podcast. Today's podcast, we're going to be answering 2 questions. We had a question on the Facebook story. A gentleman asked me what my perfect sub combination is. Yes, my perfect sub combinations. I don't know if you guys know this, but I do work for a deli at a grocery store. And I make subs. I make like sub sandwiches. And I really love it. I really love making sub sandwiches. I love the aspect of just getting creative and making subs, and I enjoy it. It's like an art. I feel like it's like a time I get to be somewhat creative, so I get to be creative and have an outlet to be able to make sandwiches for people that they're going to enjoy. So I really do love it. The sandwiches turn out really great, and I really enjoy making them. So a gentleman asked me, he said, "Hey, what is your best sub combination?" And I was like, that is a crazy question, because I would love to answer that, because I do love making the subs, like I said. So for me, the best sub combination is I have 2 subs I love making, okay? The first one is a chicken tender sub. And you're asking yourself, why a chicken tender? Isn't that like crazy? Yeah, it is. And in the grocery store I work for, they have some pretty crazy combinations. So what I do is we have 3 breads at the grocery store I work at. We have 3 breads. We have a white bread, we have a wheat bread, and we have a multigrain bread. I use the white bread because it's kind of the most kind of basic thing, but it does hold in a lot of different. It holds in the liquid pretty well, in the food pretty well. If you get a nice piece. Good piece of bread. And a nice, piece of bread. You ever seen the Ratatouille movie where he's like, you gotta listen to the sound of it? That's how I feel about choosing the right bread for the right sub. So I cut that bad boy open right down the middle. I take the chicken and I toss them in a buffalo sauce. I think it's a Texas Pete kind of like wing sauce, but we toss the chicken in. So I toss that in that, and I put that on the bread. So once that's on the bread, I'll take this cheese I really like. It's called Havarti cream cheese. And I'll take that Havarti cream cheese and I'll put it right on top of the buffalo chicken. And then I'll take some onions, some green peppers, and I'll just put that right on it. And I'll put some little bit of black pepper on that. And I'll put it in our toaster oven and I'll toast it for 30 seconds on high. Then it comes out, and it's steaming. It's coming. It smells. The vegetables are sauteed. And then you know what? That's it. I'll close that bad boy up, and that is one of the best chicken tender subs you'll ever have, no doubt. Looks like we got some funny guy in the chat. What's going on, man? Hello, my dude. What's up, dude? Today's some funny guy. We're just going to be recording a podcast and then playing some games later. So that was the best chicken tender sub I can put together. Now you can do it a couple different ways. A chicken tender sub that's just like the main way I would do it. I have had made another sub a way of doing barbecue sauce, and what we have in our we use we have in our deli, over in the deli. In the deli, we carry a brand of meat and cheeses called Boar's Head. And Boar's Head has lots of different cheeses. And so one cheese that I use when I make a barbecue chicken tender sub is I'll use what we have called the Wisconsin Beechwood Cheddar. And it's a really smoky, it's smoked cheddar. And I'll put that on it, and that also tastes really well with the barbecue sauce. And those are kind of the two ways that I would recommend to somebody if they were going to order a chicken tender sub. And a lot of times I'm like, hey, would you like a recommendation? I can give you a recommendation that I have had that it's really good. And they're like, oh yeah, what is it? And I'll tell them, and most of the time they really enjoy it. Some funny guy. I guess I could stream videos as YouTube videos as well. I don't know why I would do that right now because I'm recording a podcast and having fun with that. Maybe I'm just going to record this podcast and then I'm going to play some games later and take care of that. I'm just going to cut out the podcast section and kind of clip it and have it saved on my computer. Okay. I like that. Do you like subs, my man? Do you like subs? Those are my two top ways to make a chicken tender sub. Yeah, I do, bro. I do too. So that's the chicken tender sub. My second sub that I would say the second sub that I would say that I really love enjoying making is an Italian sub. And all the Italian sub is it's the meats inside the Italian sub are the Boar's Head, hot capicola, tavern ham, and the Genoa salami. And that's really good. That's one of my favorites. And what I do is I'll take the white bread, cut it in half. Then we have this what we call like sub vinaigrette. And a lot of people call it like submarine sauce, or Subway has their own version of it, but it's basically like olive oil and vinegar and salt and pepper and oregano, and it's kind of like a vinaigrette, and it's really good. What I'll do is I'll shake it up a little bit to get everything kind of floating around, and then I'll put that on the bread, like a lot of it, and I'll close up the kind of like bread, like squish it together, and so like it kind of like sinks into the dough. And then I'll put the meat down. I'll put the cheese on. And what kind of cheese that I like to get is the jalapeno Havarti cream cheese. And it's like really good. It's like a little bit creamy. It's a little bit spicy. It's really good. And then I'll take like onions and green peppers and black olives. And I don't do banana peppers because they kind of are really like, their flavor is over the top. And I'll just kind of stick with that. Put some oregano on it. Toast it like the chicken tender sub. I'll toast it. Pull it out. Put a little bit of, I'll cut up some spinach, put some spinach on there, close that bad boy up, and you got yourself a great Italian sub. Looks like we got my main man, Ryan, in the chat. We need to create a pizza sub of pepperoni meatballs. Let me tell you something, my man. The grocery store that I work for, their meatball sub is on sale right now for $6.99. Now, I do have a recommendation for a meatball sub as well. Let me tell you something, my man. So here's what you're going to do. You go to the grocery store. You go to my meatball sub. And they're like, okay. You get them to cut the meatballs in half. Because they don't always toast all the way to the center. So if you cut them in half, they toast the right way. So you get them toasted. They pull it out. You get some white bread. Cut that bad boy right in half. You'll get them to put all of the meatballs on. Then what I do is I get them to cut some mozzarella cheese. It's pretty good mozzarella cheese. You get the mozzarella cheese onto the hot meatballs. Then what I do, and I tell everybody, because you got to make it like a pizza. You got to. Like Ryan said, we got to create a pizza sub. So what we're going to do is we're going to take onions, green peppers, banana peppers, black olives, and we'll put that all onto the cheese. Then we'll take a little bit of oregano, sprinkle it across that, and then we'll toast it. And when it toasts all together with the oregano and all of the toppings, it comes out and it literally smells like a pizza. It's amazing. I've had it. I've tried it. You got to go out and try it for yourself. It's really good. I really thoroughly enjoy making the meatball subs, because when it comes out and it's like steaming and fuming, and it's like, oh, you're like, man, it smells like pizza. It smells so good. So you gotta try it like that. That's the way that I would do it, and I love it that way. But those are some of the main subs that I would create. Does anybody have any of their suggestions that you would think it'd be good? Do you have any ideas, guys? You have any ideas, chat? What do you guys think? I know that Ryan said the pepperoni with meatballs, and that is really good. I would definitely try that. I do love making those. Do you guys have any sandwiches you like? Like any subs you guys like to have? You don't know? Where I live at, the grocery store that I work for is called Publix, and they have a deli. Some funny guy, you make your own? What kind of sub do you like to make? What's your go-to kind of sandwich sub to make? It is an honest living. It is. I do enjoy it. There is definitely a funness to making the subs. But do you have any? Do you have a sub that you like to make? Something that you enjoy? Something you're like, I'm gonna throw this together on a Friday afternoon, or this is Saturday at 12 o'clock at midnight. Do you have something you like to make? Yeah, oh my gosh. It's literally so mad. You'll get type 2 diabetes. I don't know about that. Because I mean, subs are subs. I mean, the subs are subs. You know, you gotta, if you put your, like, if you just like have fun making them and you have fun eating them, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That would be funny if you did make a sub though, and you got like an entire sub full of like bacon. I would think that would be like getting type 2 diabetes. But other than that, that's funny. Meatballs, peppers, pepperoni, ham, turkey, freaking every single meat. Dude, that would give someone type 2. It is 24 feet long. Oh my gosh. Is that your like go-to on a Friday night? That is hilarious. You know, that reminds me, Subway does something like that, where they'll have like the party one, the catering one you can get, but it's like 12 feet long. Holy crap, that's awesome. Ham and turkey. I can't even. Oh yeah, I have in 1 week. It would take me like 7 years to eat a 20-foot long sub with meatballs, peppers, pepperoni, ham, and turkey, and every single meat. You know, it's crazy that Boar's Head has like 50 something meats, so that would be a like 24 feet long and like 5 feet high, full of meat and cheeses. That would be like, wouldn't that be like a world record sandwich? And you see that like at a fair, and you're like, wow, this is it's crazy. It's for your family. Hey, now it's for your family, then y'all be eating on that for like a month. I know that if I made that for my wife and I, we would be eating on that for like a year. They'll get 5 feet each. 5 feet. You just imagine someone holding a like I'm 5 foot. Like I'm 5'3", so I just imagine someone holding a sub the length of me, just trying to eat that. It just be so funny. You're like, ah! Don't clip that. Don't clip that. Don't clip that. I don't want to see that clip. That's bad. That's awesome. Let's see if I can think of any more sub combinations that I like to do. I have made one time. It was my own kind of invention. It's not one that you can not one you can get. It's dipped in olive oil and bacon grease. Oh my gosh. That is type 2 diabetes, my dude. Oh my gosh, guy, bro, that is type 2 diabetes, because that would be, I mean, it'd be able to go down pretty good though, right? Like you'd be able to get that down pretty quickly, like right down the hatch, just just, just eat it immediately. You wouldn't have any problem choking on that because it would just go right past. They'd just slide right through. Oh my gosh, that's bad. Oh my gosh, the bread has cheese and everything else like that. Yeah, like just right down the edge. The bread is soaked in olive oil and bacon grease. The cheese is soaked in olive oil and bacon grease. Everything else is just all soaked. That would be a crazy sight to see. Yeah, the cheese is good. Any cheese soaked in bacon grease would be good, I would think. I would think that'd be really good. That is funny. That's because it's going right down. It's not stopping. There's nothing holding that thing back from going down. Dude, yes. Okay. So where I grew up at in Alabama, we had Crystals, which is kind of like, I would say, an off-brand of White Castle. But I have had White Castle. They have really good sliders. I chop them into slider type shapes. You're just like 3-foot long sliders. 3-foot long sliders. I can't even imagine. Just like, that's a slider. That's a big slider, my man. That's a large slider. I do think that's a large slider. Oh my gosh. They're usually 4 inches long. Yeah, I mean, White Castle has really good sliders. I would say so. I watched a documentary one time on how they make them, which is really cool. Really, really interesting. They opened up a White Castle where I live at in Florida. It's new, and it's been out for since about the summer. Almost burped. Excuse me. Oh gosh, excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. But they opened up a White Castle in the summertime, and if you want to go there, you have to wait in an hour-long line. Like, there's always a super long line. Like, Kayla and I have wanted to go and try them, and we can't because every time we go over there, there's an hour-long wait, and we're like, I don't want to wait an hour-long line. Go get some pizza, bro. BRB, yeah. I need to eat too because I just drank an entire Celsius because my heart was racing. And now it's kind of calmed down, but it was racing. So with that we're done with that conversation about the Publix subs, which is, if you want to try it, go to your local Publix. If you live you don't rely on a Publix, go to a place that sells boar's head meat and cheeses and try it for yourself, because you can get those combinations, put them together, and you're gonna have a great time. I promise you, like hand on the Bible, that will be so good. I promise, because I love them. I know you will love them too. So there's this group of guys at the high school that's near our Publix. They come in and they're always looking for me, and they're like, "You make the best subs." I'm like, "Guys, I got you. I got you." So I have fun with them, and they're fun to be making their subs for, because they get really into it. And I love making subs for people who get really into the process of making a sub. It's one of the most minute things. It's you're making a sub for somebody, but it's you're making a sub for somebody that they're going to eat. And you want them to enjoy it. You don't want them to go home and be like, this is a load of crap. I don't want that. I want them to go home and eat it and be like, man, that was really good. So, yeah, that's my, to the gentleman that asked me that. His name is Zach. Thank you for asking me that. I appreciate that. And those are my top 3 to 4 Publix subs combinations. Moving on into the second question that we wanted to get into in today's podcast is going to be, why is the sky blue? Now, I got this question from 2 people, and it was crazy because they asked the same question and didn't even know it. My wife asked that question in the poll, and then a gentleman by the name of Evan also posted that question. So if 2 people are asking it, we got to answer it. I don't know what else to say to that? So the question is, why is the sky blue? And I was pondering this a little bit because I didn't know how to answer this. I really didn't. That's why I wanted to kind of come on here and be like, why is the sky blue? Because in my brain, it's like, okay, so the sky is blue because it's the way our eyeballs are perceiving the color of the sky. Because if I remember correctly, and I don't always do, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but if your eyes see a color, your brain recognizes that color by the sun, by the light reflecting off it. So let's say I'm walking in the forest and I'm looking at a green leaf. That leaf is green, and my eyes perceive that as green because the sunlight is reflecting the green molecules inside of the leaf. So that's what I always thought growing up. But then I started to think about it, and I was like, man, why do our eyes perceive that as blue? Because whenever you're like, because what's crazy to me is that when there's no sun, the sky is dark. It's black. Like you're outside, there's no light, it's black. So why is it during the day that the sky is blue? What is reflecting? Had to remember your anthological. Yeah, I don't remember. Some funny guy just said, had to remember your analogically mathematical health, huh? Yeah, I had to, because it's been a long time since I've been in school, so I'm just trying to remember. But I think that's correct. But so I feel like the sky is blue. It's crazy because, like I was saying, at night it's black, but in the day it's blue. But if you're looking up at the sky on a day where there is no clouds, doesn't the sky seem a little bit darker? Because like when you look off into the horizon, let's say you're looking off like straight across, the sky is blue. You know it's blue, like it's a light blue, it's a light like sky blue. But if you look straight up and you're like, wow, doesn't the sky like become a little bit darker blue as you look up into space? And it's like, what's like, why would that be the color of the sky? And you know, guys, I'm a Christian, so it's like, why would God design the sky to be blue? What would like happen if the sky wasn't blue? Like, what would happen if like the sky was yellow or white or purple or anything other than blue? Like, it's crazy to think that we perceive the color of blue. And it's crazy too because there's a color literally named sky blue. Like this is like on almost a sky blue. Like the blue back in the back here is like, if I can get it correct. There we go. If we can get it correct, like that's a blue color. And it's like we know the color blue, like sky blue, because it is the sky's color. But what's crazy to me is that is perceived that way, and that color, sky blue, is perceived as sky blue because that's the color we perceive the sky as. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like I'm on hyped up with caffeine right now, so I'm just firing all cylinders pretty much. But it's crazy to think that like that color they're called that color because of the way our brains perceive the sky. Now, my question is, does the sky's color change upon being colorblind? Some funny guy, are you colorblind? Is the sky the color of? Is the sky blue to you? Because I would love to get a perspective of a colorblind person to be like, oh no, the sky is actually green to me. Like that would be really cool. That would be like crazy to see the sky as a different color. Because if you see the sky as a different color, then you see sky blue, the color sky blue, named that color is named that, you would see that as a different, in a different way. That's not the way that we, as not being colorblind, perceive the sky? This is just like a really one of those like philosophical questions. That sounds really good. Pizza, stromboli, and hot sauce with bite-sized breadsticks. Man, that looks really good. That sounds awesome. I would really enjoy that. Kayla and I had pizza and breadsticks last night. It was really good. But going back to the question at hand here is the sky blue because we perceive it as blue, or is the sky actually blue? That's the question. Because if we as humans perceive the sky to be blue, but what if it's not? What if it's like purple and we are just thinking it's blue this whole time because that's what we've been told for generations? You know what I'm saying? That's pretty far-fetched, pretty philosophical, but I perceive the sky as blue. I perceive the sky as blue, and I perceive it as the way that it is. And that's crazy to think that it's that way, because it's not how my brain perceives it as. And that's why I was asking the question is, it'd be cool to hear from like a colorblind person, to ask them like, if they're colorblind to the color blue, what does the sky look like for them? Is it green? Is it brown? Is it like a light red? Yeah. Okay, some funny guy is going to tell us why the sky is blue. Tell us, some funny guy. Why is the sky blue? We're going to wait for the response here. In anticipation. It's not the right word, I know, but that's just the way I say it. Okay, so some funny guy is going to tell us why the sky is blue, but he's got to type it out. So we're going to stall for some funny guy for a second while he types that out. You know, I feel, you know, it like as a Christian, like as a person who believes in Jesus, like as like God created the sky, it's like, was the sky blue? Has the sky always been blue, or has it changed? Like, did God create it blue, and then it just kind of went, like, it changed over time? Or has it always been blue, and that's the way God created it? Now, I would think that, like, I, as a believer, would think that God did create it as blue, and that's how it's always been. But it's crazy to me that, like, that's the way, like, our brains perceive. Like, when we look up into the sky, we see blue. Or dark blue, depending on if you're looking at the horizon or if you're looking straight up. Because when you look straight up, the sky is like that. All right, here we go. Here he answered. Some funny guy says, let me read this before I say it out loud. Okay, we're good. This blue color of the sky is due to the Rayleigh scattering. The rays scattering. The ray light scattering. As light moves through the atmosphere, most of the larger wavelengths pass straight through. Little of the red, orange, and yellow light is affected by the air. However, much of the shorter wavelength is absorbed by the gas molecules. And he goes there, like he drops his mic right there. Okay, so to unpack that just a little bit, I believe he's saying that the sky is blue because of the rays from the sun that pass through the atmosphere, and a lot of the different colors like orange and yellow and red get stuck inside of the gas, or get sucked up by the gas molecules, and the blue wavelengths are the ones that pass through, and that's why we perceive the sky as blue. Am I correct, some funny guy? Is that a great way to sum that up? Let's see, because I feel like I just summed that up, and I think that's pretty good. As a person who is from Alabama and got an education, let's see how that turned out. Was that good? We're waiting for the response of some funny guy. No, he says, huh? Oh, I must have not said it right. Thought I did. I thought I just dropped the bomb there, dropped the mic there too. I guess not. So what I'm trying to say is that the sun's rays, when they hit Earth, the Earth has an atmosphere, which is made up of gas. So the orange and the yellow and the red, those wavelengths, the sun's wavelengths, get the atmosphere entraps those and kind of sucks them up, and they kind of take them. While the blue wavelengths are larger wavelengths, and they can pass through the atmosphere, and that wavelength is our brains perceiving the sky as blue. That's what I'm sticking with. That's what we're going with. That's some funny guy's explanation of why the sky is blue, and I feel like that's a perfect explanation because I didn't even think of that. I was just thinking it was light reflecting. Oh my gosh, dude, some funny guy is a geologist, and he's offered to tell us more facts. Yeah, dude, hit me with your facts. That's crazy. Yeah, come on, let's go. Let's get this. What kind of facts you got for me? What kind of facts you got? This is great, guys. We got some great engagement on this. We got a geologist in the chat that's gonna help us. So I feel like that gives us, so with some funny guy being a geologist and him explaining how the light works with the sky, then we've got like a professional's opinion. So we're good to go on that. We've answered that. Sky's blue for this reason. We talked about it. We're good. Now, some funny guy is going to tell us some really cool facts about life, and I'm really excited about it because I love crazy facts. Oh, he's typing. Okay, we're waiting, and we're waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting. Bum 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 bum. As we wait, we've had a pretty good podcast today, guys. This is probably going to be the last segment that we do in the podcast, and then we'll end it out and then go to playing some games. Holy crap! Here we go. He put this out. Okay, we're gonna read this. I'm gonna read this to you guys. He has posted this, and we're gonna read it. Geology from the ancient Greek is two words. It's I'm gonna say that wrong. Earth and logia. I think that's right. Logia. We'll see logia, and it's the study of discourse. Is a branch of earth science concerned with both liquid and solid earth, the rocks of which is composed, and the process by which they change over time. Geology can also include the study of the solid features of any terrestrial planet or natural satellite such as Mars or Moon. That's cool. I didn't know that. That's really dope. Modern geology significantly overlays all earth science, including hydrology and the atmosphere science. He said, oops, I was copying, doesn't my resonate studies. So that's really cool. I did not know that geology was also the study of like terrestrial planets as well, like Mars and the Moon. That's really cool, which does make sense in hindsight, because then that's the formation of other planets is like surfaces. So that's really cool. Thanks for sharing that, some funny guy. That is really cool. Wow, that's really cool. And I'm assuming he's typing again probably, so I'm just gonna wait for a second before we completely end this segment. But that is so. Geology is the study of our planet, and also other planets is geology of like the structure of the surfaces of them. That's really cool. That's really cool. And I didn't know that geology was a like a Greek word. That's really cool. I took a little bit of Greek in college, so I don't remember anything, but that's really cool. He said archaeology is the study of human activity through the recovery and analysis of material culture. The archaeological record consists of artifacts, architecture, biofacts or ecofacts, sites, and cultural landscapes. archaeology can be considered both a social science and a branch of humanities. I have a friend, he's the worship pastor at our church, and he is really into studying the cultural anthropology of like civilization and humanity, and he really wants to go into get his doctoral degree in the study of that, like that kind of thing. Okay, he has one more. Got one more. Some funny guys got one more for us, and then we will head on out. So let's get one more in here. Then we will. I just said that. I'm about to repeat myself. All right. So, but I didn't know that archaeology can be considered a social science and a branch of humanities. I don't even know what humanities is because I'm not that smart. Okay, here we go. A terrestrial planet or telluric planet or rocky planet is a planet that is composed primarily of silicate rocks or metals. Within the solar system, the terrestrial planets escaped by the IAU, don't know what that is, are the inner planets closest to the sun. Oh, okay. The terrestrial planets accepted by the IAU, which I'm guessing is a organization, are the inner planets closest to the sun, i.e. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Among the astronomers who use the geological definition of a planet, the moon, Io, and sometimes Europa may also be considered terrestrial planets, and so may be the large rocky protoplanet asteroids Pallas and Vesta. Some terrestrial planetas. I had to say the way he said. He added an E in between planets. Some terrestrial planetes. Wow. That's really cool. And you know what's crazy about that is I know what Europa and Io are from Destiny 2, what we played a few days ago on stream. And I'm guessing that those planets are, important to NASA, I would guess, as some funny guy is stating here. Well, thank you so much, some funny guy. You have helped us out. And he goes, there, he drops the mic once again. My guy, thank you so much for coming into the chat today in this podcast, helping us, giving us some facts about astrology and about geology and about why the sky is blue. It's really appreciated. We're going to end the podcast here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today's podcast. I hope that you've learned something. I've definitely learned something. And if you want to check out episode 1, go check it out. We told the story about how I almost burned down our apartment, and that was a fun time. Let me know what you guys want to hear next. You can leave it in the comments below the YouTube video, or on Spotify, you can answer a poll that is underneath when listening to the podcast. I hope you guys have an incredible rest of your night, day, week, whenever you're listening to this podcast. I hope you have a blessed night. I love you guys. Go out after this episode and love someone the way Jesus would have to be loved. All right, guys. I will see you guys in the next podcast. Peace. All right.